I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be.
Hey kid, what time is that?
It's time to refresh.
Back once again with another episode. This is episode 52 of the It's Time to Refresh podcast. Today's episode, we're down in Bolton and we've got Dance Tax Candy and Grundy.
Oi.
How are you doing? All right?
Alright, man. Right, yeah.
We had to sort of catch up off camera there, but like, fucking, yous are some busy men. Probably because is it because yous are so like doing multi-genre? Yous are being so busy like over the last. Busier than ever, really, to be honest.
These last few years, last 2-3 years, has been
busiest
the
you've ever been.
Yeah, it seems to be more like these festivals we've started doing and bigger events, really, rather than the small ones.
Class. Well, I was just saying to you off pod there, I should have just kept it all in rather than just have a crack with you first. I said plug whatever you want at the end of the podcast, but you were just rhyming off stuff there. I was like, that's a fucking big gig, that. Oh, that's another big gig. Like, you seem to be good amount of quality and quantity rather than just playing loads of like little like pub gigs and that. Like you're actually playing decent gigs there.
Yeah.
So I'll just start off with everyone. What did you have for tea last night?
I had a pizza.
What was it?
I'm gonna get slated. Ham, pineapple, and jalapeno.
That's fucking shit. That,
You've
right?
got to have pineapple on the pizza.
Nah, fucking shit, mate. Pineapples.
I don't eat pineapples at all apart from on the pizza.
It makes the bread taste all sweet.
Nah, it's nice. What do you like though?
What about you? You're about to have a good tasting food.
I had a meat box from Marmaris on Todmore Road.
Said plug gigs, not.
Absolutely.
He's been in their inbox asking for sponsorship.
Yeah, so he's getting a freebie tonight, innit?
Yeah.
I was hanging out my ass, to be honest, for the WCW event on Thursday, so I would just... It's a box of every meat under the sun. It was that much.
He likes his meat.
I've had polished rest of it off for my dinner today.
Honestly, I love like a proper good kebab. Like I'm a massive foodie, so that's why I always ask what you had for tea, and then I ask you at the end about more food. So a lot of the questions we get asked in as well, it's always about fucking food related shit. People just know that it's either music or food. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you just said about the WCW event. How was that? You've obviously been talking off pod about doing different events and that, but you put that on, so it would have been Bank Holiday Thursday of Easter.
Yeah. In
Underground.
It's, obviously traditionally a busy night out, Easter Thursday around Bolton ways.
Yeah.
Everyone used to go out back. There used to be a famous club called Jack's Icon.
Right.
Everyone used to go there.
Is that in the square in Bolton?
It used to be like on Bridge Street in Bolton.
I don't
It's not there anymore, it's been knocked down. Unfortunately, like most good venues.
They did it in the venue.
Right.
Thursday night.
Oh, maybe that's where I've been then.
Laura went, she said it was busy. Well, it was sold out.
Yeah. Really good.
They're always decent, always does well out, don't they?
Yeah, he's a good lad, I'll shot later.
So what sort of stuff were you playing at this WCW night? Was it?
Bit of everything really, with that's like you mentioned, we're obviously multi-genre, so we don't really... our sets can range, we can start off Italian, old school, all the way through to hardcore sometimes, you know. We don't really put a pin on it, we just see it.
I play a bit of everything, don't I?
If it's a tune, it doesn't really matter about the genre to me.
Absolutely, perfect that. Just want to get on to you as well. One of the Patreons got on to me saying you need to get these lads on fucking to tell a good story. Baz Rigg. He speaks so highly of you. So.
Yeah, he's a good fan, Baz Rigg.
Yeah,
he's a good lad, to be honest.
Yeah,
he loves you.
Nice one, Baz.
Cheers, Baz.
He was saying, I'll put a thing out who on. He mentioned you a while back, and then he messaged me on the Patreon saying, Candy and Grundy, get them on. There'll be some good stories to tell.
Yeah.
So then, obviously we'll get into it later, but I was talking to Gessie last night, and he was saying, "Oh, that'll be a fucking good episode." He watches all of them as well. So
Yoda, I call him Yoda. Just if there's not much Gessie don't know.
So what I'm going to do, like I do with everyone else, is just go right back to the beginning. So, how did you meet?
Was it Gemma Weaver's, wasn't it? It was your mate, and we used to all go round to her house for house parties, didn't we?
Yeah, sort of just met through mutual friends. He's a couple of years older than me. and we sort of like just used to hang about. And it was at that age where we used to start going out, sort of to clubs and that, weren't it? And
just end up at the same place all the time.
and we discovered this little place called Maxime's in Wigan, and we used to end up going there every Saturday.
Are you DJs at this point, or
No.
so you literally just going for the
Just ravers really.
So which one of yous were like the DJ first? Who was you?
Yeah.
Being a bit older and that, like.
Yeah.
So when it come to it, what made you want to be a DJ?
I think because I tell you what, I used to go to when we were on about Jack's night, so it was called Icon the club.
Yeah.
And you used to go there and they used to play Paul Van Dyke for an Angel, like the Lover.
Yeah.
With the vocal over it, and obviously couldn't get it apart from the vinyl.
Yeah.
I seen it in the vinyl, so I bought it. I thought I'm gonna have to buy fucking decks now. That's actually what got me into DJing.
Yeah.
And then I had like one fucking record player.
You used to collect trance.
Just use collect trance and just whatever I could get from HMV at first.
Yeah.
Like dancey stuff and that, and then just use playing one at a time. I thought I'm gonna have to get decks and.
Yeah. Just to learn the song.
Yeah. Old little mixer that you had.
My mate Paul Turnbull, he actually like my first mate that had a set of 12 10s, so he used to be around there, then take my vinyl round and have a mix and that. Then I got my own, and that's sort of how it started off before we started dance attack, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of like I used to go round his house, obviously, and then I used to have a little mix with him. Obviously, we started going out, and then we just sort of I came to an agreement that I liked doing it as well. So there was another lad, Matt O'Sullivan, and he was selling a set of 12 10s with a load of vinyl. So I remember I bought them when I got some money for my 18th birthday, and I bought them.
Yeah.
And then we just thought, like, at the time there were a lot of change going on at them clubs we used to go, and we thought we could maybe try and have a go at it ourselves, like.
So what sort of nights were you going to before you were DJs then? So you said about
Maxime's, Cricketers, Pio.
Zone and Foreplay were the main ones, weren't they, like, that we liked.
So when you were going to these nights, what were you like? I know you are multi-genre, but what was the thing where you like? And it
Italian really, wasn't it?
Yeah, Italian was always our first love.
I drove all right northwest picking vinyls up for like
we love Zone.
300-400 quid a vinyl.
Zone tunes. We lived that. We loved it.
But it was one of them at the time because it was like, obviously there was probably me and John G who played Italian.
Yeah.
But like back then, you had to have it on vinyl, so I'd try and buy ones that he didn't have. So then when you went to Cricketer, it was like, oh, it's a Grundy tune, so we're copying what guests they had, because obviously you didn't want to be playing the same shit. So, but I mean, obviously it's all changed now. You can fucking get whatever on a USB, can't you? So
everyone's got like the signature tunes from back in the day. It's hard to break a tune nowadays where it's like you go to a club and you know for a fact that DJ is going to play it, or it's just one of them things, innit?
That was definitely one of the things back in the day. Like,
well, that's the buzz you used to get, like, because it'd be like, right, I can get his vinyl, it's over in Skipton or whatever, I'll go and get it. And remember Phil from Melody House, he used to ring me, fucking make a fucking fortune off me. Like. He used to ring me, and I remember I'd be at college, I did an apprenticeship, I'd be at college on a Thursday, and he'd ring me, he's like, Grundy, I've got TH Express and Dancing the Heat of the Night. I'm like, right, I'll be there in an hour. Fucking walk straight out of college. Give 300 quid to me. I weren't even getting paid that a week. I don't know where I was dragging my money from, but it was just mad. Just like, if he had it, I wanted it. But
so what was a Grundy tune then? When you say
there's been a few, aren't there?
I'm Fairer.
I don't, because that's a guesty tune, definitely.
I mean, mainly on Dance Attack, like, say Get on the Sauce, Sam Fairer.
Yeah, there's been a few. I don't know, I didn't really have a signature tune, really. I just sort of like...
Is the one that you got where you thought, fucking hell, no one else has got this? This is a...
Well, the one that I didn't get, that everyone didn't have, and that was Slip and Slide.
Yeah.
And it was, it come out on... Like, obviously, it weren't how much it cost, you couldn't fucking get it.
Yeah.
So it was like, whenever you saw one, it was like, we're up to highest bidder, wasn't it? And they were, remember Butty from Blackpool used to do the devotion nights, and one come on eBay, and we knew it was coming on, and he were on it, 500 quid. So I chucked it on, took it to 850 quid. Then I pulled out, so I ain't fucking got it. I can't pay for it. So basically, I should have left it to him in the first place, because that cost him nearly double. He had to sell one of his decks and couldn't even fucking mix it, because he had to sell one of his decks. And then, like...
He ironically ended up booking us, didn't he?
Yeah,
ended up residence for
literally, it was probably 5 years ago. I got it off Discogs, 75 quid, and it come wrapped, it hadn't even been played. So what did I do? I fucking opened it, didn't I, like a dickhead? And now I've got 3 different versions. The white label, which is the one before it got released. I've got the release, and I've got the remixes where they did a competition, DJ Carmen, Nicky X,
I can remember
we put a remix in me and Dubsy. I think it was John G who won it.
Yeah.
But we got our name up back at vinyl and everything, so that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, so I've gone from no copies and pay 850.
Yeah, I've got fucking all of them now. You can't sell them. They're not worth now.
No, they're all, the only worth is what someone's going to pay, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like I see now, like, I don't know, do you still go on Discogs and that, yeah?
No, I ban myself because I go daft when I'm on it, and I don't play vinyl anymore. I bought a load more vinyl, and I can't even mix on vinyl anymore. Seriously, I went on, I got them. They've been in my mum's loft for fucking years, and so we did a loft conversion at our house. So me and Mrs have got like bedroom, and I split a little third of it off for a deck room.
Right.
I said, right, getting everything out of my mum's loft, did all my sets up, went on them, tried having a mix. Fuck, I've not got patience for it.
Nah, I know what you mean.
If I went on and carried on doing, you know what I mean? This is doing it in clubs like off my fucking head though. Do you know what I mean? And I could do it back in there. And I went on and give it 10 minutes for, I've not got time for this.
You're primed, aren't you? Like, back in the day when you're on them every night and like...
It'd be pissing me off more than anything, so I can go smash them up in a minute if I don't get a mixer. I'm just going to leave it.
But even now, like, I look on Discogs, I do get the odd bit. Not as much as I used to, but maybe one something in a week, whether it's like a fucking old... I still collect some CD singles because you can't get them online, some of them.
Yeah.
So I like rip them to my thing and then I can play them on my sets and that. And like even they go for like fucking ridiculous amounts of money still. And it's like no one's even asked about vinyl or CD anymore, and it's like, and there's still... I've
sort of got every tune that I wanted to get, what I couldn't get back in the day, I've got now.
Yeah.
And I don't play them, but it's just good to have. Because I went through a phase where I sold a load of my vinyl. I was selling like New Planet, Next Train, all like really rare ones, and then I'm like, I've managed to buy some of them back, but then there's some I've still not got and you can't get.
Yeah.
It's like the ones that weren't rare a bit ago, they've gone like rocking all shit now.
Yeah.
Like ones you could easily get, and then the ones that was hard to get, like Slip Inside, Kathy Reid, HSL, you can get all them now.
Yeah. They are. You do see quite a lot of copies of like Slip and Slide about now, just because it's not as
well, this is it. We're really all back in there. Like it's like you come. Like I said, it wasn't what it cost. It was when it were available, and you just pay whatever you could get because you couldn't get your fucking hands on it.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's mad how many copies you see.
I know exactly what you mean. So you're DJ and that together. Obviously, you've met when you're out on the drink and that together, house parties and stuff.
Yeah.
When was the first Candy and Grundy gig? Like, what was the...
We weren't back to back for years, were we?
No.
We was getting booked on the same nights as...
Well, we set Dan Sack up, so we were obviously on the same nights.
Yeah.
The first ever one that I can remember back to back was like Sanctuary on Boxing Day.
Sanctuary, yeah.
Sanctuary used to always do a big night at Cricketer on Boxing Day, and there was a flyer and it had boxing gloves and it had like a blue corner and a red corner.
You got a good memory.
That was the first ever
What
time.
year was that then?
I'd say 2003.
Right, so sort of
So
like
20 years ago on here. That's the first
ago.
ever one, and then sort of like because we did our own sets, we did Dance Attack then, we always did our own, but then we sort of got put together then, and then we've just sort of
like
done it.
the new Hampton deck, haven't we?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. Natural entertainers then.
Yeah.
So when you
don't know which one's the piss head yet.
Yeah, no, I'll figure it out by the end of the podcast. I was just sitting there thinking one of them's going to... One of
us a bit
Probably
rehab,
both of us. Probably due it, haven't we? It's coming.
It's a weird one, that, because like he's obviously a fucking massive pisshead. He goes and crashes his car like dangerously, and somehow walks away like, and on the papers make him a legend. Do you know what I mean? Anyone else does it, you'd be a fucking dick. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But I'll discover which one is the absolute pisshead after. So you've got your first set together at Sanctuary Boxing Day 2003. Did it just sort of click together, like when you?
Yeah, because we both sort of like, we both like the same kind of tunes, don't we? And we both
And especially
know
with
what-
Dance Attack, we used to collect things sort of together. We had our own sort of tunes, and I don't know, we've always gone out together, so we always used to collect music that way,
Yeah.
didn't we? Like back in the day, there were no internet, there were no Spotify, there were no Shazam. It was a case of, oh, what's that tune? And then we'd be like, let's get it. And then if he didn't get it, I got it.
Yeah.
And then it just went into the Dance Attack
And when you
part.
put
And
us
then
together, like,
we had it.
there's not
much music between us that we haven't got. Do you know what I mean?
So, for instance, I'm just going to go off the way you're just telling it. Say you had, I don't know, TH Express. Would you not buy it then, knowing that you could play it together, sort of?
We've still got the same tunes each other, but
Yeah.
we'd sort of go through a phase where, say, I'd play something for a bit, he won't
right,
play
okay,
it,
that
and
makes
then
sense.
it's like now sometimes, like you saw us play bits and pieces, and I'm all, it's like last probably
Few sets he's
few
played
sets
on.
I've played it because he's not been
There
playing.
is still the sometimes like when we turn up and like obviously we don't ever rehearse. We sort of just
Yeah.
go with the flow, like because we found when we used to try and
We
rehearse.
used to rehearse, but
We used to
when
rehearse,
we,
and then people would either play some of the tunes in the set before us, or you just think like. But end of the day, now we just sort of turn up, and then I'll say, "What you thinking?" And you'll always still to this day, we've picked the same tune each.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you
that's what I
find
buzz
one
off.
tune, for instance?
No, we just that.
No, so like,
Do what?
let's just say you're going to fucking hell, I was going to play that. Like.
Yeah, but
yeah, it's happened, hasn't it?
it happened at the Forest last year because it was my turn to start because we take it in turns who starts and that. He said, "What you starting with?" So I'm going to start with one. Oh, you little twat, we're going to play that. But it's like that's it. That's just proves like we have a similar style of music, if you know what I mean. Because
If it works, it works, mate. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
they're always bangers, aren't they?
you just feel it. It's like when we
saw-
walk out on stage. I just like I look at him and he looks at me and I know we're gonna smash it. I just
Yeah.
feel it. Like you get a feeling. You know. What
We
I mean?
always
It's
have
like
good
getting
comments,
people
don't we?
talking.
Like, we always have good comments about our sets and everything, so
Yeah.
we must be doing something right.
I think our first sing is together in. Can you remember when? This was a good. It was weirdly good, even though it was. I don't know. It was a bit. It felt wrong doing it during the day, but it was. Can you remember Sanctuary's
Snook.
weekend? No, it was a weekender thing that they did, and I'm sure you two were on outside with Wizard.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
court.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
so,
all right.
yeah.
That's when I
Yeah.
first seen you. I've never seen you play together. Like, I don't even think I'd seen you.
Yeah, but in afternoon, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wizard
yeah.
were just bouncing about, MC were
We
mad.
got noise complaints, didn't we?
complaints, yeah.
More noise complaints on
That-
Blackpool Council.
That set you were playing, like you were just sort of bouncing off each other with tunes, and you just seeing Wizard absolutely sweating his back
Yeah.
out, like middle of the
Yeah.
afternoon. It felt so like
Wrong,
2 in the
but
morning,
yeah,
but like 4
yeah.
in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So
You
Don't
should have
think
seen
it's
him
not
when he
done
ran
seem
out of
right
my
when it's
flat.
daylight, is it?
You
Yeah.
should have seen him later on that night when he ran out of my flat.
yeah, but on it, that was so good that afternoon. Like, I know it wasn't like the busiest you've ever seen it, but it was
It
like
was a good buzz, wasn't it?
yeah, well, it was good to see like fucking Wizard out and like
Yeah.
like. Do you know what I mean? It was. I think everyone who was there was up for it as well.
Yeah.
So you started obviously doing, as I said before, like doing Sanctuary and that together, and then when did you start putting yourselves on together for Dance Attack? Like how far into Dance Attack?
We
were
don't really, we dance tap, we do our own sets.
That's
don't we?
possibly the
one
only time that we really do our own sets. Like
we stick to like how it's always been with dance tap. We always put our. To be fair, we did that battle in Bolton, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or we tend for if it, because obviously it's like when you do a club. So like when we were doing Truth last year, it's like 9 till 3. It was open till, wasn't it? So you're limited for hours. So
Yeah.
we'd
I
sometimes
don't like
squeeze-
it, but you do have to put people on for 45 minutes so you can squeeze an extra DJ on.
Yeah.
So then we'll put ourselves on back to back or put
Yeah.
other
Makes
people on back
sense,
to
yeah,
back.
it does make
But
sense.
if we've got enough time, we'll just do an hour each or 45 minutes each or whatever.
Yeah.
But it seems to be like obviously who else will get booked for back by Don't Demand, like S2S, Sanctuary, like
Cricket
stuff like that.
nights,
Cricket
yeah.
nights, we just do back to back all the time now.
Yeah.
It just works, doesn't it?
Yeah, we look the good nights as well. We always look forward to it. Do you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
make
yeah.
a night of it with our missus and
Yeah.
that, and then
I think it's
doing
good
what
good
we
for the
love.
crack as well because like for instance last night like I was playing at Sanctuary in Carlisle and it's like my mates aren't up for it all the time. Like if I've got a gig, it's not all the time they're gonna go, oh yeah, I'll come with you at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning and waste
Yeah.
my Saturday or Sunday. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And it's like when you go out and play together, at least you're going to be there on the fucking journey.
Well, that's it. Our missus are good mates as well, so
Yeah,
they
so-
come with us and then their mates. So we've always got a crowd with us, you know what I mean? We make a night of it, like,
Exactly, like I like that.
too
the
much
fact that-
sometimes.
No, that's one of the best things. Like sometimes, especially now on these bigger stages, it's like there's nothing better than watching your best mate absolutely smash it up while you're waiting to go on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it's a good buzz, isn't it?
It is a proper good buzz, yeah.
I've still got my stamp on from fucking Thursday.
Class.
You
Classic.
can tell that with everyone, Jim.
But yeah, so like, where did like Dance Attack come from then? Like, how far were you into the Candy and Grundy thing before the Dance Attack?
Well, we weren't really, were we? Because
Yeah.
what happened was, right, so when, obviously, I was DJing just in bedrooms, I started, my first gig was with Central Bar, wasn't it, for Gary Selects in
Yeah,
Horwich.
yeah.
And then Ferrell were coming down, he noticed me, so he started booking me.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to do our own thing, didn't we? So there was a place, it was actually a strip bar in Bolton called The Office, and they had all strippers downstairs. They had a room upstairs, and it was on Bank Street, which was like the main street where everyone went. You flew in, Bergeracs, everything, didn't you? So it was busy. It was like, Bolton were booming back then. It's on its arse now, to be fair.
It's a
But
shame.
it was like, literally, there was that much going on. You could go out on your own and you know, you meet your mates, there's some mates or whatever, everyone
Yeah.
knew each other. So there was that, when we were little, probably held no more than 100 people, but it was on Main Road and they had bifolding windows, so you opened it up in summer, it were meant to, we had tunes blasting.
Class.
And then they used to get a couple of strippers up on poles in windows.
Yeah.
It just fucking got people in, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we said, right, we'll do it there. And we did, how long did we do it for? I can't remember half of these years, mate. I've
About
participated in it.
a good couple of years there.
But yeah, we got like, that's where we started. So me, Candy and
lad
Ricky
called
P,
Rick.
wasn't it? And we just started off there, and it's basically that's how we got Bolton following, because all our mates just come there, and we did it Thursday, Fridays and Sundays, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it just we got busy there, and then we went from there to cricketer, really.
Yeah. So when was your first sort of serious night where you thought we'll stick a lineup on that'll cost us a fair wedge and we'll see if we can make a deal of it?
Probably cricketer, wasn't it? First birthday,
Yeah.
maybe. We had Stu Davis.
That was your birthday do that.
With my birthday
your
do.
birthday do we had Pendle, Stu Davis, Gester.
Yeah.
First birthday we had Ricky and Funky B.
Yeah.
It's a decent lineup, like, innit?
Yeah.
We didn't have Baker on one night.
We had them. We used to have Welly doing it for us.
Yeah,
like,
we
used to
had
do-
a few. We've had a good few nights with Welly.
Yeah.
Decent.
We used to do
He
a
was
club in
shit.
Rottenstall called Cube.
Yeah.
And the launch night there was one of the best nights we ever did. We had Wizard on that. Welly was a special guest. He did it, and then also at Beat in Blackpool as well.
Yeah.
He did it there for us, didn't he?
Yeah. But we just seemed to get a good following as well, didn't we? Like everyone, I think it helped because we used to like
We used to
party afterwards, and
Yeah.
like the people that who, like we used to do coaches. It's like we did a devotion night once, Dance Attack versus Devotion. I think we took
50 people. wasn't
No,
it?
it were about 20 odd people from
Yeah.
Bolton.
We had like
So we
three
booked
coaches.
one coach, and we had to book another coach, and we had to get a mini bus, and it was like, it's 100 odd people, it's a lot for tape from Bolton.
We used
really.
to go from Albion pub in Bolton.
So we were
Centre.
on sesh with everyone, and then like afterwards, obviously we didn't bring 120 people back, but we had a mate called Ed Jog, he's died now, like.
It only fit about 100 in, didn't it?
Yeah, on a good day. But
Yeah,
best
yeah.
thing was, Andy Pendle lived next door,
Andy
but what?
Pendle lived- that's
So
how we
we'd
got to
still
the
be up
way.
at 6 in the morning, like it back garden, and Pendle would be like getting
Mowing his
up
lawn and that.
at night, well, say 9 o'clock in the
Good
morning,
night,
mowing
lads.
down, like. And he's like, you're at it again.
Oh,
Like,
fuck
tell us
hell.
keep noisy, and if we turn it music up a bit too much,
Oh,
he's
that's
like,
class,
don't worry,
that.
I will.
I find that a lot of people do get a lot of success when they're more humanised. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, you could just turn up, rock up, play your set, go home, and
Yeah.
that's Candy and Grundy. And then, or you can get amongst it, and then people know
But
you
we
more
started
personal
off
level.
as ravers, we were never DJs,
Yeah.
so that's sort of how it's come about. We were we never thought we were, we're going to try and be this and that. We like the music scene, we like playing vinyl at the time, let's do it, and
Yeah,
get involved with it. And it just
seems to. we've never changed how we look at it. Like people say, oh,
It's
you're on
never been a
this, you're on
business,
that.
it's always been a hobby.
Yeah.
It's the way it works.
There's no money for it to be made in it proper unless you're getting hundreds and hundreds of people into your nights and you're promoting it, which is hard work to do these days.
It is, it definitely is, especially with the way it is at the minute, where it seems to be everyone's a promoter because
There's
it
too
seems to
much
be like
going on. It's put us off this year doing it, and it's getting harder and harder.
We'd just rather turn up and do like the guys we work
It's
for are
stressing
some of
that.
the best in the game, so it's like...
It's like we was going to do a night, I might as well say it now, we're going to say it. We was going to do the final dance attack in December, and we had Mad Friday, well, the work class is Mad Friday because that was week before, but it was a Friday before Christmas.
Yeah.
So Friday and Christmas was Sunday.
Yeah.
So we thought, right, we've had a good run. We thought we'll see how Truth does last year. We're getting alright numbers, but it was getting harder and harder. Thought, right, let's go out on a big one. And we had like Lisa Pinup booked, John Neal, we had some big names. It costing a good few grand, wasn't it, for Lionel? And then obviously the club shut and didn't tell us it was shutting. They said we had electrical problems, so obviously we've lost fucking shitload of money in deposits and everything.
Yeah.
So that didn't go ahead, and we were sort of like, we're thinking we'll do it somewhere this year, but I don't know, it's just...
The way it's planned out,
It's
that
just
busy
put me
with
off,
booking.
yeah.
I don't like we've always worked, so we don't like stepping on people's toes. We like to...
There isn't a free
especially-
weekend.
And you
There
can't,
isn't-
it's not.
We've not got a free weekend till 15th of July, and then we've got a couple of weeks off, and then it starts again all through to September, so...
Yeah. As I say, though, even in the promoting round this way especially, fucking hell, like getting a free Saturday is...
It's not that, there's some nights now where there's 3 nights on the same night, whereas you used to struggle to get 3 nights on in a month, whereas...
It's trying to get a decent club as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
they're either like too small or they're too big.
Yeah.
Oh, your mates do a night.
Yeah, there's nowhere sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
There's no like 300, 400 capacity clubs. They're all like Truth or Element, whatever it is now, what's like going on to 1,000 capacity.
Yeah.
Or they're like underground, what's 100 capacity. It's not, you need something a bit bigger as well.
Loads of people would say, oh, you had a failed night if you had a 1,000 capacity venue and you had 300 people in.
Yeah.
It looks watered down.
Well, that's it. I mean, last year when we were doing it, we did it with Ferrell. We did the crick night and we got like 500 plus people in.
Yeah.
Brilliant night.
Yeah.
And then did the dance attacks. I think we had one night at 350, one night at 300, and then it was like 250-ish.
Yeah.
And then the club shut. So yeah, it doesn't look good in a big club if you got 250. When we had 500 in it, we're mint.
But that's the thing though, if you do it in a too small of a venue and you get 300 people in, it's like...
It's too busy and people don't like it because
Yeah.
you can't move, you can't get served at bar. My pet hate is not being able to get served at bar. If I want a drink, I want a fucking drink now. I don't want to be stood there pissing about. I've got this thing that I do all the time, whether I'm DJing or not, most of when I'm not DJing.
Yeah.
And I just go to side event and say, I'm on decks in 5 minutes, and go like, yeah, go and get me drinks quick, I'm not even fucking DJing.
Proper Del Boy
Works
there,
every
like.
time though, and then they cotton on to
And-
me. I was doing it at the corruption night, Ant. I was doing it at corruption night at that factory in Bolton. I worked with DJ and they clocked on it, and they went, "You've said this 4 times to us." I'm like, "It's my last drink now." What ask you then?
Class. So, sort of, yes, we've got, I would say going through like the sort of the 2000s, coming to 2010, what was your first sort of big booking as a duo then? Obviously you've done your own nights and that.
We got made residents for a night called Devotion, which was at Club DNA in Blackpool.
Yeah.
DJ with Alex K, weren't we? And that
and
was
then-
Sanctuary and Divorce.
So the biggest event, still to this day, one of the best nights I've ever done. The first night Alex K ever played in
111.
England was Club 111 for
that's
Sanctuary New Year's
that's
Eve.
my best night ever.
And me and him did the last hour of that night.
Yeah.
So
we
that's
were on
close.
after Alex K, weren't we?
Yeah, we were on last, and it like we got to close that party down, and then
We had a hotel, we booked the full hotel out.
yeah, we had the decks on
He
there.
said,
it was
you
just
keep the
like-
decks on until you stop drinking. It was like 9 o'clock next morning. They're still serving. Bar staff
yeah.
were like, there were an old couple as well, weren't there?
They were good.
They were like fucking dying behind bar. Like, how do you
like-
think we feel?
I'll always remember that night because obviously you know what impact Alex K's had on our scene. mean? With
Yeah.
all the music that he made, that's
It
still
was special,
played to this
wasn't it?
day.
It was.
I think
No one knew what he looked like, and sort of he turned up and he absolutely smashed the granny out of it, and then
it's timing as well, isn't it? Do you not think? Do you
Yeah.
not think like that night when you listen to back to that set, it was like prime Alex K tunes
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
It wasn't the later stuff that wasn't that good, and the
Yeah.
earlier stuff that was a bit still finding his feet. It was like
Yeah.
timing was
prime,
everything.
Remember him playing that "You Belong to Me," you know, JX.
Yeah.
played "Take Me Away" and
Yeah,
like at
unreal,
midnight tune,
yeah.
and then just all round heartbeats.
Yeah, it
And
was
just a
sick,
quality
yeah.
set that.
Yeah, and so that night was the best one.
Yeah.
That's like one of the biggest. I'd say that sort of really put us on the map, because after that we started to get a lot of bookings. Then, you know, like we was in Blackpool every month for Devotion,
Yeah.
and then we started getting put on the Sanctuary nights back to back more, because originally Grundy did them on his own. He did like volume 6,
Yeah.
volumes, like he did about 4 volumes before like we got on under the back to back booking.
So what was the first volume you were on together? Like, was it a volume or was it
I just that Boxing Day night. I can't remember the actual volume. You'd have to ask Farrell.
I've got a funny story about Alex K as well at DNA.
Go on.
He come into DJ box, obviously we're resident for Sanctuary Nights, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so he put his CDs there, and somehow my Cider and Black's gone all over his CD wallet just before he's about to get on decks. He's like going mad. I went, well, you shouldn't have put your fucking CDs next to me drink, should you? He was like, don't know what fucking say, man.
Yeah, he's I've never actually met him, to be honest with you.
He's sound, isn't he?
Yeah, good lad.
Because I think I went. No, there was an Alex K night on. I can't remember when it was. It was a few years ago now.
One
But
in
it was
Leigh.
sort of later on.
Right,
Was
club
it,
in
the
Leigh.
gallery.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just think I don't know what he's like as a person. Is he? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but you see a lot of the Aussies who are producing the NRG stuff, and they're not as wild as Britta.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
They're not up for it as
Yeah.
like I seen the Alex
He didn't
K
find
post-
it amusing when I said that to him. I was trying to like have a bit of a laugh, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Are you being serious?" I went, "No, that's my whole fucking point. I shouldn't have a drink next to your CD, should I?" I'm trying to chuck it on you,
Yeah.
mate. He's like, you know, it's
You see,
No
like
sense
a
to
video that you done. Is it what's that thing called? They do the decadence thing.
yeah.
This I seen a video and the tune kicks in of like Angel in My Heart, something like that. And it kicks in, but it's like at 140, and the crowd are just
It's a bit
like
slow for
mellow.
that, innit?
No, but
Yeah.
the mellow as well. Like they're not bang up for it. Whereas I imagine when
Yeah,
those
well, with that
really
stuff,
love
you
it.
should be playing that at faster BPM, really, shouldn't you?
I like 140 though. And yeah, but not peak time. Peak time
Yeah.
in a bounce night should be a little bit faster
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they don't seem to have the oomph that everyone else in the
Yeah,
UK seems to
yeah.
have. You go to like any bounce night in the UK, 3 o'clock in the morning, everyone's absolutely right
Yeah.
up for it.
Yeah.
They seem to be doing well still over there, though, don't they? From what like videos you see and everything like that. They
Seems to
still,
have come back a bit now.
still
like.
going, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So then, sort of moving forward, you have done the Black. You've been getting booked regular for Blackpool. Where else were you going in the UK at this point? Because
We did Wickinson a lot, didn't we?
Yeah, we used to be up. I did a few places: Carlisle, Melting Pot, Club XS.
yeah.
Excess were decent, weren't
Yeah, and then sort of like mid noughties. Sort of like I went and lived abroad and did it in Magaluf.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How was that?
We were good. Like the clubland nights on the Bananas every Monday. Me and Bon Lee used to actually do the last 2 hours. Like,
Not bad, is it?
you? You did it with Alex K, though.
yeah, Alex
didn't
K
you?
used to be on every Monday, and we sort of, that's where that picture comes from. That cracking picture of me, Bon and Alex K, like the Bananas DJ.
He's
box
sweating
in
his back
Magaluf.
off.
I'll have to have a look at that. You have shows. You haven't
Yeah,
you?
it's a good one. Yeah, so that were mainly like late 2000s and stuff, and then like we've always done the Sanctuary nights, like moved to Syndicate then, so
Yeah.
like we
Yeah,
did
they were
them.
nice.
With the dance attack thing, we used to do Parda in Wigan, we moved it over to there,
Yeah.
and then whatever chance.
Maxime's a few times.
Yeah,
wasn't
Maxime's, and then that's sort of like when the bounce scene went on a bit of a lull, if you know what I mean. Like late.
it? I had a break for a bit.
Yeah,
though.
Grundy had a little break for a couple of years, say between 2009, 2011.
That's sort of when the scenes are really fell off.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can see it coming, mate. We're bad.
and then that's obviously like in that time, we sort of like that. I started doing it for Drakey then for the S2S nights.
That's sort of when I come back in.
And that's sort of like Grundy like, oh well, if this is like
Want
the
a bit of that.
quality event, and he said I'm willing to do it because obviously at the time, late 2009, the band seemed sort of. It was only the trenches.
He was sort of
times,
doing it for mates, and club was on its fucking ass.
They were the same lineups.
You weren't getting paid, obviously, and you'd let it go because it were mates. But it's like it's costing you to go out still, and it's like how long do we do this for? And I don't really want to be doing this, and not, I'd rather do it for free and play in front of a crowd instead of just turning up and it's just
like 20 people.
Just let's get on it with your mates. So it's like it like going back a stage to when you first started.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I started out during them times, so it's like me. I walk into a club and there's fucking more than 10 people, and I'm like, oh well, it's busier than usually is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just want to ask you, did you do Peter?
No, we never did
that's
it.
the only
One
club we
thing
never
we never got to do that.
Just because obviously when you were rhyming off some of the places there, you just literally anywhere in and around.
No, it's the only place we never got
We used
a chance
to go
to.
there. We used
I think
to go
when we
sometimes on a Friday, but I think
we used to go a lot. That's why
the reason
the place I started going.
like they never had MCs on at Peter. There was only in the later years when obviously Farrell started doing it, and then they had MCs on. That when it was really on its ass, and they were trying to get numbers in there.
Yeah.
But like that, we sort of like Maxime's and Cricketer. We used to go there more, sort of, didn't we?
Yeah. The more people we knew, the more.
Yeah, and it was sort of like we always liked the MCing and the more underground style of music, whereas. Here were more I used to go on the Fridays. I still go to the odd BTID night now. Like I went to Park Hall the other week. Like the shows they put on now are absolutely unreal.
The best scene out there.
Without a doubt. Like I mean, really, the best thing that happened there is the pier closing down because
that made that brand.
They took it to the next stratosphere. Like made it an all new.
You wouldn't be getting them numbers in pier and to that production level and everything. No. So when you're like sort of doing this, going to like Maxime's and cricket and that, we use. Obviously, I've heard the style you play. I've heard loads of your CD packs and that. Like, you always play like fan favourite tunes, like what do you call it? You're not like anthem bashing, but you know what people want to hear.
Yeah.
But then halfway through your sets, you play like a proper underground banger. It's still like a big anthem, but so you might play like one or two where you know everyone's gonna get everyone up, and then you'll
get away with it, can't you?
Yeah, that now you know you've got the crowd in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, you
can pull out an underground bang, and I've always noticed that style with you.
That's how we've always tried and do it really, because obviously
always got to start off with a big one as well. Like
we've always
if
said
you lose
that.
your interest, it's hard to get them back.
Yeah,
if you play, you know what people are gonna like.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's got to be something we like. Cause I don't think I've ever played a tune that I wouldn't dance to. I don't dance anyway.
So,
has he ever played a tune that you don't like?
Probably, yeah.
Has he ever played a tune that you don't like?
No.
But yeah, like
he's played a few close to the bone, but
yeah, well, like you said, if you can drop one in there that's it works, but it might not be as popular as what you've started with or what you played previously. You can chuck it in and then you can get back out of it, but you can read them and see what it's like, and if it's
there's a funny story about that, isn't there? That Jill Dresky Heartbreaker, and you said, I'm going to drop this, it's gay as fuck, and then I think he got more feedback off that tune of any anthem he'd ever played. Like, you know what I mean? We always had a laugh about it.
Proper cheddar.
Everyone
loved it. Everyone loved it. Everyone were going on about it.
Everyone were making comments on it. He was like, fucking hell, I should have dropped it years ago.
When you mix that tune in, right, and you catch it on a fucking a decent tune to mix out of, and that ad-lib comes in and it's my god, I think it's a class tune. Loads of people hate it though.
It's like Marmite, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the
love it all, yeah.
Like Italian old school purists, like who love us all that, they fucking hate that tune.
It is cheddar in it, but it was good.
I always remember that though, like
honestly, I think it's one of them things where it's like it differed. Like obviously I've collected the CD packs for years and stuff, so like when you hear your sets, it's something that differed you from everyone else with because you've got the DJs out there who are the educators, the ones who play all the underground stuff, and it's like, oh, he's a tune you've never heard, he's a tune you've ever heard, and they get a lot of recognition for it. And then you get people who are the anthem bashers who play, I don't know, all the big uns, and it's like they get all the praise for that. But when I listen to your sets on the CD packs and that, it's one of them things where you'll be playing a big tune, and when you bring it underground, it's like, oh, wasn't expecting that, or vice versa.
Yeah,
if you, because there's been,
up a bit, innit? Yeah.
I've heard when you've played like a Sanctuary night and you've played late on, and you've come on with, say, a big tune, but then you've straight into the underground stuff, underground, and then you bring out a big massive anthem, and it's like you can see how you just.
It's just the ability to read the crowd. I think. I think that's some. There's not many DJs who can do it. I don't think. You know,
it was a really hard one. What we played, and it was a cricket night, and they just weren't having it.
Yeah.
They just were. I wanted to play like Decapo, check the bass, like all shit I used to play at cricketers to keep with the theme. And like I remember saying to my missus Laura, we're like, they're not gonna fucking have this. They're not gonna have it. And we think I start off with Fire Getter or something, and then we played Summer, and I thought it's not working, and I think I dropped Get on the Sauce, just a big vocal anthem, just to get everyone back into it, and I managed to get them into it, and I thought, I fucking know what to play now, because if I start going cricketer again, they're not going to have it. So it's like, really, I went against what the theme of the night were, but as a DJ's point of view, you've got to keep fucking people involved, because you could kill dance floor, and then it's like, it's alright saying, well, that's a cricketer's tune, but I have these fucking people on dance floor, they've never been fucking cricketer. Do you know what I mean? They're a bit pure, because it's main club in Wigan for a night out. They're not thinking what cricketer tunes are, but then you get ones who are like, they want like, can you play this, can you play that? It's not going to work, that, mate.
Yeah, it's the like.
You've got to be careful, haven't you? Because you're a DJ as well. It's like, I know you're trying to keep.
That's what I'm saying with your balance. So like you can play the anthems everyone wants to hear, but then you get the educated crowd, raver in the crowd who's like.
So you're trying to keep everyone happy, aren't you? It's hard sometimes. I mean,
we always try and find an hidden gem as well. That's the beauty of like them Back by Don't Demand nights, like. That's
one that people have forgot to play in a long time.
That's good. There's laws, and you forget about them, because you do. It's like there's only so many classics and old school and that you can play, because they don't make them anymore. They don't make new ones, so you start getting a bit bored of them, and then one just pops up. You listen to like an old CD, and you're thinking, shit, I forgot about that. Right, that's coming on the next playlist.
And then you're hoping no one plays it on the night so you can watch it.
But then obviously, like we was doing all classics. It's like every year that goes by, it opens up another year's worth of classics, because I try and make it, it's got to be over 20 years old.
Yeah.
So
as long as it's not got a donk on it.
Yeah, do you know,
like what we did with Back by Don't Demand, because we sort of changed it up a bit when we started doing that, because it was all old school. It wasn't even really Italian, were it?
Yeah.
And we started playing like
Italian club classics.
Italian club, like Pearl River and stuff like that, and
like Fierce Days like that.
Yeah, a bit more. Like a bit of like
driving in it.
A bit bouncier, but without a donk, and it's sort of like they loved it, didn't they?
Yeah.
It breaks it up, sets up from just a night.
They're still tunes over 20 years old.
So they still.
So is that what makes a classics? Do you reckon 20 years and then?
That's like sort of the range that I'd give it. So like sort of.
Pretty Green Eyes is a classic then, because that's.
I won't play that though.
No, I'm just saying. That's because 2003 is a sort of.
That's what I was looking at over Christmas, because like every year I try and refresh all new music to play, but obviously as a classics DJ, you're not buying the new music to play on them sets, so I try and sort of like look at all the biggest tunes from 2003 and then think I'm going to incorporate some of them into my sets.
I bet you'd a tune for 2004 so you can play Special D.
That used to be a tune, that though. Chris used to do Dance Attack. John G come down and he played it, and like, wow, what's this? And it went off.
I might drop it tomorrow night, that mate.
It's not a classic, mate, until next year. No, so yeah, you said you had a bit of a break in that, and then you've come back with the S2S when Drake is doing that's doing it. How did you find coming back?
Min.
Yeah,
because it's like
was it all different vibe completely?
Yeah, because we were on the pier, weren't we, Blackpool Pier?
The first gig back you did.
Gone from doing shitty clubs, what we're closing down with no one there, to like pier. Like,
sold
wow,
out.
never done an event like this. It was sold out. DJing like Stu Allen, Rat Pack and everything.
Paul
I thought,
Taylor,
this is like,
we did the retro tent on that one, and
Yeah.
we were like middle of the day. We had Rat Pack on after us.
it's like, this is what
Just
we want to be
unreal.
doing, do you know what I mean?
And they were playing, like, as mad as it were when we started, that we were actually playing the music then. Whereas we was lucky enough to, when we started, it was a great era for dance music being released. When we've started playing on them nights, and obviously when it's still resident for them now, then that's like the music that we actually genuinely first fell in love with, innit? So,
How was it for you then, for instance? So, you left. What was the last gig you did that you can remember before you?
Can't remember, you know.
Can't remember. Was it dead? Do you know?
A lot of them were dead down
Right,
there.
okay.
Yeah, there was like everywhere you were going, it was on its arse. It got to the point where I knew what were coming, sort of thing. It was just.
So you've done this, right? You've gone and then come back, and it's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
How was it in between for you? Was it?
yeah, but
Was you abroad at that?
yeah, that's when I went
Sweden,
abroad.
yeah.
I went abroad for a summer. I went and lived in Magaluf.
Oh, so the full scene's changed for you both, and then when you come back,
And then I sort of
Totally
came back.
fine,
I still took solo bookings. I did the odd event here and there. But like I said, it were really struggling then, the scene. The only
It
real
were on its
night
arse, wasn't it,
that
with
carried on through it was Sanctuary, like,
Yeah.
and obviously
They were struggling as well, but I mean, he's got through it.
I'd always been to them from day one, so I still used to go to them with Guest Day, Feral, things like that.
just remembered when I've met you. You know, it just fucking clicked in my head. I didn't meet you until that night with Wizard in that day in the day thing. Met you in the Royal Oak in Working. Remember that?
Yeah, Top Gun night.
Yeah,
I
Top
played
Gun.
on that, yeah.
Yeah, that was sort of basically fucking everything was on its arse, and there was no nightclubs, so they ran it from a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top Gun, and
I
it was
remember
fucking,
it, yeah.
It was booming. It was. I just know it as. You go there, it was like the plant food era. Do you know what I mean? So it was like everyone was pure white all the time.
Yeah.
So
Bubbled up.
yeah, that's like I just remember you being on there. I just had a flashback. I was thinking, well,
Yeah.
I'm sure I met you before.
I remember that. I went up with Guest Day, obviously. To,
It was shit, but it was good, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. It was a club that held a pub, that held about 100 people. It had 50 people, and it was bouncing. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them things. And that's when the scene's sort of coming back. So obviously at this point you'll have come back in sort of like 2013 time.
Yeah.
So you were doing the S2S. What else were you doing when you come back?
Just started at first, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A few sanctuaries and
Then that sort of like when the cricket night started a few years after that.
cricket reunions.
Did you notice it was busier as a whole?
Yeah. It started getting busy. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's when people started doing the bigger nights, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like Drakey were doing the pier nights and
Guildhall, Preston,
they were
Victoria
good
Warehouse.
nights.
Yeah.
Victoria Warehouse. So they were putting bigger events on, and they were working. They were busy. So I think everyone's thought, right.
That's sort of in a
Now,
way
it
that
wasn't really little clubs. It
that's
was
sort
bigger.
of what killed the sort of remaining nightclubs off, really, because then people started saving themselves for these big dues.
Yeah.
Because rather
It's
than
a
waste
bit
the
of a
time
knock-on
going out
effect.
to some club and then it's shit numbers, you know, if you're spending 25, 30 quid on a ticket, you go into these events, they're sold out, you've got the biggest DJs on, they're absolutely guaranteed a good time, and then they just snowball and snowball.
It's like that now, though, isn't it? Do you don't think when you see some nights and you play and you think, why the fuck's this quiet? Well, then you realise the week after, people have been saving up all year to go to a certain festival. Like, say Creamfields, there's like people who, that's their big
It's
weekend.
like people, obviously, I'm 42 this year,
Yeah.
so it's like people our age, they're all settled down. They don't do nights like we used to do.
Got responsibilities, mortgages,
Families,
kids.
you know,
Saturday
they might
morning
come
clubs.
to the odd night. So if they go into one, they'll go to a big event.
They know it's going to be a belt.
They're not out every weekend. It's trying to get the younger lot, which seems to be happening now because they're all into this fucking house and all that shit, which I've never really been into. They seem to be coming. Well, it's like we do these festivals and shit, got Forest now, and it's like my mates' kids are there, like, you're right, good, and I'm like, fucking this ain't right. Do you know what I mean? Like, just weird, innit? Like, but it's showing your age, I suppose, innit? But it's good that they're coming, because a lot of them, they're into, like, the back by door, man, the old school, which you couldn't imagine 19-year-olds.
Well, these
being into
19-year-olds,
that.
like, the tunes were classics when they were born, so it's like...
Yeah,
it's
this
fucking
is it, it's
blowing.
mad, innit? It's like...
Brought up to the mum singing it.
It's like, I did the the podcast event last week or week before, the It's Time to Refresh first birthday event, and I had
You
John.
did all right, didn't you?
I was fucking. I wasn't expecting.
I heard,
A lot of people had travelled from away. Like I went to check in one of the DJs in the hotel, and there was two younger lads there, and we're coming to the event tonight, and I travelled from fucking somewhere in Scotland, and I was like, decent. So at least they're coming to a fucking shitty coastal town to fuck
yeah,
the
no,
event.
it's
You know what I
good
mean?
that, mate. Fair play.
It was really uncomfortably rammed, but
Yeah.
this tiny young lass come up to the DJ box. We get John and that. John Collins. I've been listening to you since proper like all of us were
Pissed out.
8 years old. And then
Fucking hell.
guess he's like, fucking hell, I feel old now. It's like this lass, she's out with all her mates and that, and it's like she's been listening to what her parents have been listening to, the fucking Sanctuary and Crick CDs and that, and then fucking, you know what I mean? It's one of them. But fuck me, if you want to feel old, you just go out now and it's like,
Yeah, it is. It's getting to that era now, isn't it?
yeah. But as I say, so you're sort of moving on forward. Everything seems to be getting bigger for you. So did you bring Dance Attack back after you came back, sort of like the say 2010s?
We did a few things, didn't we? We sort of like did a couple of bits here and there. We've never
come back on a regular, have we?
No,
Just
to
do
be
the odd event
fair,
here and there.
Dance Attack, it'll only work in Bolton now really, because everyone who comes, our main following are from Bolton. They don't want to be going other places.
Would you call it like more like a reunion then?
Yeah. To be
definitely what
fair,
it's
yeah,
not like.
definitely, yeah. But
Because all them
it's-
people who used to go on them coaches, the bird won't even let them go shop now. But then if it's in Bolton, then the bird comes with them. That's time of their life.
Yeah.
But it's just like, people grow older, don't they? Do you know what I mean? Obviously.
Yeah.
Not everyone's up for going to Wigan or going to Blackpool or going up to Workington or going in Manchester.
That's the thing for me. When I started getting the bookings for Sank originally, all my mates were like, "Oh yes, we'll come down." We'd have like a convoy, like 3 or 4 cars. Now I can't fill a car.
Yeah,
Like, do you know,
it happens all. It does
Did I
happen.
go
doesn't it?
mountain climbing on a Saturday or fucking football with the lads there, the more kids and
it happens. It's just a fact of life. People grow up, they get responsibilities, they settle down, they have families. It's just obviously that's what comes first. They're the most important things, aren't they? Obviously, in doing what we do, we've been lucky enough to keep it going.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like I said, we tried to keep content out there in lockdown. And I think because we did all these live shows and stuff like that, which had good numbers, and I think like obviously, I mean, I've never known anything like it events wise since COVID and all the lockdown got lifted.
So we'll talk sort of before that then. So before COVID, Kate was coming in, you were still pretty active because you've got like your finger in quite a lot of pies when it comes to like the big events. Like I say, you're always going to be on the sort of S2S thing and stuff like that. Like you obviously do restricted in that as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And so before COVID, how was it going? Were you on like, was it looking good for you before everything happened? Or-
Yeah.
It picked up a lot, hasn't it? Really?
I think we got locked down. It was 3 years ago, 23rd of March 2020.
Yeah.
And like 2 weeks before that, we'd just done the Crick reunion at Pure.
night, that was the last night for lockdown.
It showed up on my memories like the other day, and it was sort of like we've got a picture of us at the doorway, and
But
it's
then
sort
the
of like
first night out of lockdown
was a Crick reunion at Pure, so it was like a weird, strange
Weird
set of
how it come about,
circumstances.
really.
Like,
So obviously you were talking about doing the live streams and that. Was that just to keep content out and?
To be fair, I did. I think everyone turned into pissheads in the gardens, didn't they, through lockdown, and I just used to get decks out.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't do it. Like, a load of neighbours on the street, they'd just have a drink in the garden. I thought, I'll get decks out.
it was just the way
Front gardens are bigger than back, and then everyone were there. And Laura said, well, shall I just go live? And I went, yeah, do it. And then I ended up with fucking 14,000 views on it. It was like one of the first like live mixes in lockdown, like what anyone had really done.
I still like get stopped now though. Like I'll be out in supermarket and stuff, and someone will go, "Oh, this is my little lad," and thanks for keeping us going through lockdown. You really raised our spirits and all
We were
that.
just getting pissed at
We were
guys.
just
The real key
You
workers
don't want to be
here.
like us. We're the real key workers.
Yeah, the real key workers.
Well, that's what he said, didn't it? If you can't go to work and you can work from home, so
Yeah,
we're
that's
working
it,
from home.
exactly. It's ridiculous when you think about all the shit we did.
Oh my
it's
God.
mad, innit?
Yeah, and like all the shit that you followed, but it is what
Yeah.
it is. Before we move on to sort of post-COVID, then we'll say I had you up for the night that I put on in the cat.
Yeah.
We were talking about it off pod.
When I didn't turn up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he said when I came in today, this is obviously people watching. When I came in here today, he's gone, I thought you weren't going to ask me to come on because I didn't turn up to that booking. I'm like, honestly, it's not. It's a thing. But what did you reckon of them nights up our way then?
I liked it, yeah.
It's a bit of a weird thing, isn't it? It's like
It's out in the middle of nowhere, isn't it?
middle of nowhere.
I
and
know the
it's like,
sat nav got lost and then some mad cow came walking in front of my mate's van in front of John Mac's van.
Do you not think though? It's like that town that we played in Egremont. It's proper stuck in the 90s, isn't it? It's
Oh, yeah.
like I come down here and you see some of the production and stuff like that on some of these nights, where the big LED boards, fucking function one sound system, and it's like banging. Come in, turn up at a pub, and everyone's right up for it, but it's just a pure shithole.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
some of them are best.
My kind of venue.
This is where I love stuff
Yeah.
like that though. They end up being best nights, don't they? Sometimes.
You
Yeah.
can't be a banging shit all can you?
Well, it's where we all started, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's alright to revisit that sometimes, though. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
we've done pubs and that straight after lockdown. Everyone won't be a DJ, and everyone were DJing in pubs, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I wouldn't usually have put someone on in like in a pub like that, but someone says to me, "Oh, just do it." It'll be like because people are watching this is going to proper hate me this, but like Egremont's like a proper feral place.
Yeah.
Like and they all love like the bounce music and they love love Italian. But no one ever does anything there, and there's no club there. There used to be a big club there years ago called Old Hall. People used to travel up from like fucking Blackpool and that, like they go Friday night at Old Hall and then they go to like the fucking Palace or Love Shack or something on the Saturday night, and it's like to think that was what it was like. It's a bit fucking it's backwards like. So I thought I'll put it on in this shithole and let's see if it works, and it was actually a decent night.
Yeah, we're good. I liked it.
Yeah. As far as like shitholes go, it was all right.
Enjoyed it.
So yeah, you're talking sort of post-COVID, and I think people's true colours really showed in COVID as well, with regards to who's actually got a following and stuff like that. Yeah. So when you're sort of doing your lives and you see loads of people interacting with you, you can see you've genuinely got a following. Yeah. Whereas you see some people who thought, I'm not saying anyone in particular, but like you thought they'd have maybe like a big following, and they go and do a live stream and no one's really engaged in it. But as I say, I've seen the videos that you lot did.
We tried making it a bit different as well, because at first it was just to sort of like, because everyone were bored shitless and we should have been DJing out, so you start doing it. But then
we were bored as well.
Yeah, we were bored. We
used to
buzzed off
DJ
it,
every
but then when everyone sort of started watching and buzzing off them, then we tried to make it so we're in a different location and then like reveal the location. And yeah, we did. Oh, we had some we did one at that club in Rottenstall, didn't we?
That were weird, wasn't it? Because like there were actually people in there, but you're supposed to like dancing within fucking whatever many meters between. Like it were
sit down drinking.
Yeah, it were weird.
Delivered to the table.
No, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
and then bouncers kicking off what you're going.
Yeah, but
fucking sit down.
Yeah, but once you're in there, sort of the rules didn't really apply. But it was just fucking meant, because it was like, fuck me, how long's it been since we're in a club?
Yeah.
And it like we were in there, and we're like, it were good, wasn't it? It was good night.
It were good. Then we did that one for my birthday. That were a good one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we just tried and mixed it up, put them, and then before you know it, people are like, "Where's the venue tonight?" But God, everyone's buzzing off this, and
it's charging next.
It's like proper organic following. People are genuinely interested in what you're doing and want to follow what you do. And if you tried doing that before lockdown, people were like, "Oh fuck, I can't be arsed with it."
I think in end it got to the point where like there were that many people doing the lives, no one were asked anymore.
I went the complete other way. So
but especially when
it got rinsed, didn't it? It got rinsed. So.
Especially when it started opening up again and people were still doing it.
Yeah,
like no one gave a shit then. The whole concept of it was to just get something you couldn't get, whereas now you could get it again. Then why would you be going back to that sort of thing?
Exactly. So, what was the first gig back after lockdown then?
it was that
Oh yeah, you were saying about
cricket
the
reunion,
yeah,
but on the Saturday, and then the week after was the Forest.
Yeah.
And that was monumental, wasn't it? Like they're always the sickest.
Well, the Forest change. I was supposed to be getting married on the day the Forest happened, and my wife wanted me to do it that much. She changed the fucking wedding.
Oh, what a
Respect,
star!
Laura.
What a star, man! Well,
She changed the wedding.
I can tell you that. I don't think my missus has changed the date.
Yeah, honestly.
That's class,
because she knew everyone would be hanging out their ass.
Yeah.
Robinson Forest, so yeah. But if you remember, there was like a little delay for 3 weeks, and everything had went back when it
Well,
actually
I think
fell.
we're gonna have to do something like that again. That because Winter Gardens got cancelled. Now I was well up for that. It's like Winter Gardens is like some venue.
Yeah.
And it got cancelled, so it's been booked again for Halloween.
Aye.
But I'm on fucking holiday, aren't I?
Oh well.
So
we'll have to pull something out of the
well, Laura's gonna change it again, ain't Laura?
Because she's silent. But yeah, fucking. I'm not gonna lie, as seeing
She just
what you
walked round back for Duke Potts. Front door went, Candy's missus walked round house for Duke Potts in kitchen. Hi Jamie, love.
She's a good one, Jamie. She's a belter.
yeah, so like seeing yous, I can't remember who put a photo up. Someone put a photo up of yous at the restricted forest, and I looked at it and I just thought to myself, like, yous have leveled up at this point. Like, you've gone from Candy and Grundy, the lads who are doing thing, and you're like warming up for like the bigger artists.
Last one we weren't even warming up. We're in middle of Sonic and JX.
We did the PA for Sonic, the PA for JX, and
that was like wow.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. I felt like he's just leveled up that.
Yeah,
did it feel like fucking hell? This is a big.
Well, yeah.
moment
To be fair, I still get nervous, me. DJ.
Every gig, yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's big. I'm less nervous for the big gigs because you've not got everyone in your face.
Yeah.
Do you
It's
know
not
what I mean?
worse than when there's 4 individual people
Yeah,
staring.
if you've got like 2,000 in front of you, I'm like, come on, we're up
The
for
more
this.
the-
Like,
the better,
The more
like,
the better.
I love
Like,
it,
but
like-
yeah, it did sort of like
was
sort of
really
said
good.
to us, didn't it? Like,
But we've worked
this
for
is
years
next
for that
level.
because like we've been residents for that night since 2013. We've always done the warm up, the last hour. We've done everything. We never complained. We've always done everything. So yeah, I remember that day, the first Forest back, we sort of, because of everything had changed, we had like 2 sets in the day doing a brunch, back by Dr. Man brunch,
We
full of
ended up with-
40-year-old women.
We ended up with 40 minutes to get from Manchester. I Scarpa, because like literally they had no DJ on after us.
Yeah.
And there's
Everyone
all
were
these
asking where Stu
40-year-old
Allen
women
were.
who only allowed out because they got babysitter till tea time, pissed out their heads. I'm like, there's no we're going to have to go. Like, they've not got a follow-up DJ. I went, Candy, I'll see you at front door. And just left him up next and he's had Leggett out of this fucking bar in Castlefield.
We had
And they're
45
all
minutes
these
to get
fucking
to Blackburn. I think we got the half
We had
6.
2 minutes, 3 minutes to get on stage.
We're on
Like,
at 6:45,
so
we
like you're
literally-
fucking nervous, aren't you?
Literally
You're making me more nervous.
Well,
than
yeah,
anything.
because you've not got chance to get a drink. You've not got chance
We
like just
literally
settle in and blend
had
in.
to-
You're like on stage, like
Yeah.
fucking hell.
We had to
run.
run. My mate dropped us off. We had to
legged
run
it.
through the thing, get the bands on. He said, right, we got to the DJ box, like on the stage, 20 to 7. We're on at 7:15 till like 9, till 8 o'clock it were.
Right.
And then we finally then, because it'd been a long day that, hadn't it?
Yeah.
I think my dad dropped us off in Manchester at about 11:30 in the morning, and then we DJ'd till 5 o'clock. And we literally finished there, got to Blackburn, and then we had an hour between, we had another set on another stage, didn't we, at 9 o'clock, so we had an hour to sort of reflect, but yeah, we're like, that's when
It was just like a big blur, like.
it was like,
class.
but actually felt like international DJ. Like, put the fuck down, John Mack, come on, you need to get us there. And he was like, I think he trimmed half an hour off time, like in the car.
Were his car not starting at first as well?
Oh,
We're getting here like, are you fucking joking me?
No, but
the
yeah,
car
man.
weren't starting. I'm thinking we need to go now.
It was.
And like, I'm in back, my anxiety levels are through the roof. I was welling up thinking, I'm not going to make my set at Forest. This had made me all year. It's like my best event of the year, that. And I was like so buzzing for it.
looking
And I
forward
thought,
to
we're not
this
going to
year.
get there. We're actually going to miss our fucking set. I thought.
I did that for my wedding, you know. When I got married, I was driving to the venue. I had to go back and get me shoes. I forgot my shoes, and me and my best man's there.
And they done it mid
And and honestly, the car fucking broke down on the wedding day. 20 minutes to go. Do you know? And I know the anxiety feeling of like
Never mind yours about your missus.
So me and him running up the bypass, it was so fucking embarrassing. Like, it's
That's a good story.
Can
though,
only
that.
happen.
That's brilliant.
It's fun to tell the grandkids.
it's not
Yeah.
though, is it? Because like I'm standing there and it's your wedding day and you fucking think,
Yeah.
sweating like a pig. Oh, I'm a fuck cunt, mate. Like, so and I'm running up the side of this bypass, probably look like absolute just waddling, and then I've arrived at the venue, no time for a shower, fucking nothing, and I'm just there stinking. And I look back on the photos and I'm thinking, fuck me, you're a bit red in the face now. Like, do you know what I mean? But
She got there, mate.
yeah, but as I say, you got there for I can't imagine like arrived at my wedding, everyone is expecting me there, sort of thing, and that's fine. But arriving at a DJ set a couple of minutes before, knowing you've had to rush across the
In
fucking
between
ring
all
road
these
and
big
shit, and, like,
eyes as well, yeah, it was...
you don't get a chance to feel like, because obviously when you arrive at a gig, you always like 2 or 3 tunes just to see what everyone's feeling.
Yeah, you want to be there and you're settled and you know you're going on, and it will like just boom, you just chucked into it like.
But we absolutely
Put
one
it
of the
off,
best
one of
ones.
the best sets
One of
we
the
did,
best we've
wasn't it?
ever done. That honestly.
Probably wouldn't have been as good.
Pressure. It was pressure.
It were. But
yeah.
God, it were big. It were really big.
If you didn't do that before, then I don't think it'd have been
No.
as fun, like reflectively.
Yeah.
And then I think the first moment when we came off at the end is when that picture is of us where we've got our sunglasses on.
Yeah.
I've got the basketball top on, and I looked at him and he looked at me, and then we just give each other a hug, and then someone went, "Oi, boys!" and we turned around, and then that's when that picture got took. So it's like just a quality day all round that.
Yeah, it works out, doesn't it?
So obviously you've come off the back of that. Then there was like you've had a fair few like sort of really like big time gigs. I'd say like you've done a fair bit since coming back. Like I obviously see you on like the flyers and that, like, and they're not like your small club gigs anymore. There's a lot of things that's on a bigger level now.
Like when people were listening to in charts, we're growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That when we did that flashback festival over here, we stood there with like Romeo and Lisa Mafia and
we had
Sample and that. I'm like,
we had JX and the manager dancing to our
JX.
set on the stage, like, and one of his favourite tunes has always been "You Belong to Me."
Yeah.
So to have the actual singer and the
But
management
I did threaten to strangle Snap's manager until I no, it's arrogant.
Yeah.
bitch.
I
She
always
tried
find
kicking
that.
me off the decks. He's there, we're going on after her, and she won't let me on. And I'm like, I need to stick my USB on, I'm on after Snap, what do you want me to do? And she's like, blah, 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 and then she's like, well, listen, your 90s fucking has been, get the fuck out. Fucking my stage now, dickhead.
Yeah.
She was a bit of a
She
diva.
was a dick. She was a proper
Without
diva.
going into too much detail, let's just say she was a bit of a diva, like, so like clearing the whole backstage, so, like.
I don't think she'll be getting booked again anyway.
Yeah, she was a bit of
But it ruined it because I was looking forward to seeing him, and I just thought, do you know what, your manager's ruined it for you.
Probably don't even listen to the music in the same way
Yeah.
anymore, do you?
yeah.
Honestly, I can relate to that. I can't remember. I was on after somebody, and do you know when there's like they've got like somebody representing them there?
Yeah.
And it's like shimmying you along, and it's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm on next. It's like, yeah, there's still
Well,
7 minutes left of their set.
Yeah.
It's like
well,
that.
she actually got security, chucked me and my missus out of the backstage bit and stand at the side.
She's
waiting
got
for us
everyone
dress.
to clear out of
everyone.
there.
I'm like,
It's
who the
like-
fuck do you think I am?
Some people have just got mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
It's
Fucking
got-
like-
Good reality.
Nah, it's just like.
He made a couple of tracks in 90s that he's still
Yeah.
living off. It's, you know
doesn't
what I mean?
matter
Have
whether you're
have a
famous
bit
or
of
you-
respect, innit? No, but I've always said, like, all other old school DJs, everyone, do you know what I mean?
They're all
They're so
gents, aren't
humble
they?
and polite
Proper
and
sound.
so nice. There's no big-headedness
Yeah.
about them. There's
They're all
no, like,
sound.
diva-ish shit about them. And then
Well, she
they
was
just come
mad.
in. It weren't JX, it was the manager. It was the manager. She was just so, it's like, I think she was Sybil's manager as well, and she was with Sybil, and we were sat down, me and my wife, talking to Sybil, and she was lovely, and she was from Philadelphia, she had this accent, it just got you, and you were like, just keep speaking, do you know what I mean? You could read me a
She was
bedtime
nice,
story, love. That's what she was like, and she's got up for got toilet, so I said, I'll save your seat, and I sat there, and the manager made me get up. And like stood there and just like won't let anyone sit on the seat. Like I've been sat there for 2 hours gurning before you fucking fucking come and sat there, love. Do you know what I mean? It's got my cheek imprint. When we try and do her a favour, like I just thought
I know
there's
exactly.
no need for rudeness, is there?
No,
It's just-
I think a lot of management and that seem to think it's their show when you go to
Yeah.
things like that. Like,
Yeah.
but I've noticed with like the northern sort of old school scene, there's no room for attitudes like that.
They
Like,
don't.
no.
They're not like that.
They
They're
won't
all
be rebooked.
very, very respectful.
Like
everyone,
It's like they've nothing to prove though,
Yeah.
and they have big acts. You know what I mean? People we've grown up listening to, and it's like it's amazing when you speak to them. You think, wow, like you expect this bit of an ego, really, sometimes, don't you? And they're just not like that.
Yeah. They've never been
There's
nothing
no
but the
need.
same with us,
There's no
have they?
need for it. No.
I've talked about this on the podcast before. You two seem like really outgoing people, so you can like have a crack with anybody.
Yeah.
I'm quite quiet and reserved, so sometimes when I've turned up to gigs, I've been there and I've been like waiting to go on, and I might come across as ignorant, but I don't mean that in any way. It's just I'm
Just
quite a
quiet,
quiet person.
yeah.
And ever since doing the podcast, I've had more people come up to me and go, "Hi mate, you alright?" because they understand that I'm a quiet person.
Yeah.
Whereas I can imagine you two walk in a room and you just have a crack with everybody. Like
We do, don't we? Really?
Yeah.
It probably help you because obviously people see you talking to people
And know
so,
that it's
so they know that
they've
you
got
might
something
look
to
more
introduce
approachable
to,
then,
innit?
innit?
Hey, do you know what I sincerely hope, mate?
Yeah.
I hope that Jake's gets rebooked, right, and you go to the fucking restricted and you play, and then you just go, hey, but you haven't been on the It's Time to Refresh podcast, so you're a fucking nobody. Move on.
See you later.
Right, before we move on to the next bit, mate, what have you got sort of coming up then that you want to plug? You round off a load of stuff before we start.
Well,
Forest.
Big one tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Easter Sunday, Bolton's newest club.
Right.
Element 51, backed by I Don't Demand, Maxime's Mum Rose.
Podcast will be out after this night.
Yeah.
won't it?
Still doing it, why not? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we're closing the party there. Next Saturday, we've got the big one at Pure, FEZ's 25 years.
Yeah,
You can
it's gonna
catch
be
us
good, that.
there.
Really good
22nd of April, I've got another night, UFC, Sopranos, Battle of the Brands, Underground.
Yeah.
30th of April, I've got a night for Langley, Taking You Back.
Yeah, that looks good. That's a really good lineup as well.
That takes us into May. We've got Frequency Reunion.
Yeah.
Back on the 13th of May, back in
That's
Element
at Bolton,
51
yeah.
in Bolton.
Yeah.
20th of May, we're on the Flashback Festival.
Yeah.
The 28th of May, we've got Old School All Day for Back by I Don't Demand. We're on the
Brick
rooftop
House.
at the Brick House Club, and then the club event is at Cable Club.
Yeah.
June, then we've got the Forest, obviously at the end of June, and then you can catch us back at Zone on the 8th of July.
Yeah. Excellent. So that's what they've remembered. There will be something missing. And
We've got the Wild Oak Festival as well on the 19th
There you
of
go.
August.
fucking secretly the busiest men in the scene.
Oh, back by Don't Demand at Cable. That's
Yeah.
on the bank holiday at the end of August as well.
Right, I just want to ask you a couple of questions, if that's all right. We do flop or bop section in the podcast. Basically, I'm going to read you a couple of tunes out, and you're going to tell me flop or bop. Fair enough.
Flop or bop.
Yeah. So if it's a flop, it's shite. If it's a bop, you'd probably play it in your sets. If you've got any
Still could be
tunes,
shy.
what?
Still could be shy if we flip it.
It's down to your opinion, though. Do you know what I mean?
Heartbreaker. Shy.
I think it's a great tune.
Go on.
So if you've got any tunes that you would like to add to the list, just message us on Instagram at It's Time to Refresh. We've had some really good suggestions and some really shit ones as well, but they'll all be read. So to kick off Flop or Bop with Candy and Grundy, we've got Pawn Kings, Ammo.
Absolute bop.
We play it.
Absolute bop.
One
That's
of the
just worked out
boppiest
perfectly,
bops
that.
of the bop.
I'm going to say bop, that's a big
Yeah.
bop that.
It's a big bop.
Big Ange, Wifey,
Flop.
Flop.
Yeah,
Flop.
definitely.
You like that, don't you?
You
I'm
sings
not having
it to Jamie because we're engaged now. That's
Nah.
alright.
I'd definitely play it, but it's not. It won't be.
Would
Maybe in a warm up.
Put it this way, see if my favourite DJ played that tune, I'd probably just go like get a drink or go in the smoking area or something. It's like that's it's just one of them, it's
I
irritating.
prefer It's Over now from Big Hands.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's the
Big
tune.
tune.
I thought that's what he was going to say when he said big hands.
No, obviously you've got to keep you on your toes there, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Enforce, Right By Your Side. I'm going to say flop, by the way.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't even think I know what tune it is.
It's not for me, that one.
Yeah, it was a big clubland tune, wasn't it? Is it?
It's a bit too cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not for me, that, to be honest with you. William Barber, Adagio for Strings, the Ferry Caused a mix.
Bop.
one of the greatest tunes
Yeah,
ever.
definitely.
I had the pleasure of seeing. I've seen him live play that in
Oh,
BCM in
that'd be
Magaluf,
sick.
2008. Absolutely world class.
Unreal.
Goosebumps tune, that, you know.
Yeah, it's one of them tunes you don't really hear it in clubs and that because obviously it's such a long breakdown. You can sort of lose the floor and that, but it's still a banging tune, like regardless. And you don't see him play them type of sets anymore. He plays more modern stuff, so you don't really get to see him play it. And last one for today is Alice DJ, Better Off Alone.
Bop.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I might drop that tomorrow.
Don't get bored of that.
Yeah, I know. I don't. And there's so many like good versions.
It is a bit cheese, but it works. Everyone likes it.
Everyone always sings it back when I bring it down.
Absolutely.
And that's there's no better feeling than that as a DJ is than when the crowd sings it all back.
Absolutely, that's what it's about. That's what I'm saying. You can anthem bash if you know it's gonna be just get such a good reception. Like I'd play it. I played it last night, in fact.
I'm going to plug a bop here as well now. Me and Ectic have just made a tune.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Have you heard it? Has he sent it you?
No, I did a podcast with him and he showed me.
He's not showed you the latest one.
All right, go on. I think it was about...
Yeah, it's Phil Seeker's Fly Away and...
three weeks ago maybe?
Yeah.
So it was early stages.
We literally went round the other day and he's just changed it all around again.
It's
sick though.
I liked it, to be honest. It's a good tune. That's a bop. By the way.
That's definitely a bop.
Yeah, definite bop.
I do like...
He's changed it since I sent it you over there.
Yeah.
But he's going to play that exclusive tomorrow at the Back by the Man Night.
Nice.
Play a bit.
It's heavy that as well, isn't it? It's like quite a heavy tune that. Like when he showed me that, it was... He's producing some really, really good stuff as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Not that I felt bad, nothing against Jimmy, I don't like if you're watching, but he was showing me these tunes and they'd been released like a year and I hadn't heard them. These ones in particular, I was like, this is banging, this is really good. He did like a bootleg, or remix or bootleg, I don't know, of Time. Do you know that Time remix? And I heard it and I was like, I'll play this is good. But
he's amazing, honestly. I've been been going round for the last few months, man. The shit he can do is genius.
Yeah.
Absolute genius.
Absolute master of his craft, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right, we might have talked about these are the questions now. We might have to already talk about this one. It was, hello Brad, can you tell us your favourite event / night out ever and why? And that's from Martin Cooper. You talked about...
Said 111.
Yeah, the 111. So that's sort of covered, really.
That and the Forest.
The first Forest back, and then for the old school one, definitely the 111 and New Year's Eve and Alice Care first played.
Hey, then I'll change it up a bit then.
That first Forest back was special though, because I don't think you'll ever recreate an atmosphere from that, because no one had been out for 2 years. It was just like
you can imagine, can't you?
And obviously we had an absolute banging set time. It was absolutely sold out.
6 till 7, right?
Yeah, 7:15 till 8 o'clock it were.
Yeah.
There's a nice camaraderie to the fact of everyone's been going through the same shit, and then this is the first time you'd be able to
but like to be put on that hour between JX and Sonic as well, we just like, wow.
It was just like, because a lot of people at raves
meant a lot to us, didn't it?
You don't see them unless you're out. For everyone to be together at that time after so long of not being able to do what you love, there was just something about that event. I don't think it'll ever be topped. For the atmosphere for that day.
Well, I'll change the question a bit then, seeing as we talked about before. What's been your best night out / event as a raver? Like what you've attended, you weren't playing, you just went out for the night out.
Gonna think back here now, aren't we? Well, Park Hall were decent, when not the last one.
Last year.
Yeah,
that
I don't go to events unless I'm DJ now. I just feel like I ain't got it in me.
Yeah.
The Park Hall event last year was special.
Park Hall, that were
because he went on the Friday, I went on the Saturday.
What was this?
Like the Pia's 30th birthday last year.
That
obviously it sold out. That was one of. I actually went with John G that night, and that was one of the best nights out I've ever had.
But it was the best one I can remember in a good few years. Otherwise, you're going back to before we started DJing, probably.
I went
because, like I say, most nights we're DJing, and that's what we go to. I don't really tend to go to any if I'm not.
Yeah. It'd have to be really special for you.
I went to the BTID in Ibiza a few years ago, and the boat party.
Was that good? Yeah.
When you see the videos of it where Whitby drops that "Don't Give Up on Love" for the first time, and Whitby, Ben Trengrove, and John Neal, FEZ and Keo and Mike. It was That was a special day. That I'll live long in the memory. That was one of the best raves I've ever had.
Something about summer parties that's classic.
Just being on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean, smashed out your head. It's just
class. And this is last question for today. What is your standard order from Greg's? And that's from Tasha Steele. So the only reason I ask is because I go to Greg's every day, and it always ends up being something we talk about on the podcast. So I think
Greg's is shit because it's cold. They have to pay the warming charge.
I tell you what, last time I went Greg's, the festive bakes. But you've got to get them in the morning, even though you don't want to eat it in the morning because they're fucking cold if not.
Yeah.
I prefer the greenhouse's sausage roll, to be honest. But
right, well, we're talking Greg's, mate. So
sausage roll.
Greg's, we'll say talking Greg's, right, and you get it pipe not. So
I've got 2 sausage rolls and a cappuccino.
Sausage, cheese and bean, pasta.
Right, nice. I like the freeziness. I like getting the breakfast baguette thing, so I'll get that. But if it's a standard for the day, I like fucking hell, cheese and onion bake, and I feel like I've been put on the spot. I've read this question.
You should know. I've already.
Because it changes so often. My order.
Make it hungry.
Yum Yum's a class.
Yum
Caramel latte and a sausage roll as well. Then fucking a nice big order for us there. Yeah, so that's my thing. Unpopular opinions. This is what people have wrote on the page when asked for unpopular opinions within the bounce scene and the music industry. 32 bar intros rock, edit and mixes were more interesting when transitions were longer, and that's from Alan James. Would you agree or disagree?
32 bars.
So let's say that them longer mixes, would you prefer the shorter mixes, longer mixes?
Depends what you're mixing, doesn't it? I like longer mixes, but I like mixing trance, to be honest, and you get some good long mixes with that.
It's got to be interesting as well, with trance. There's always little elements like that poking through when you're mixing.
It's like you basically 2 trance tunes you can mix and they can sound like the same tune because they just go that well together. Yeah. So, like I say, it does depend. It's not really.
I love a long mix.
He loves a long mix.
I love a long mix, but also there's some that are short, which could be more DJ friendly, I think. Yeah. So that's where, from producer's side of view, you should think of it from more the DJ's point of view.
Yeah, to be fair,
some of the best tunes ever are really fucking shite to mix out of, or they have a bit in it where you're mixing it in and you think, why would you do that? It's if they've done it on purpose.
To be fair, if you've got longer mixing parts where it's a longer mix, you can do a lot more with the tune, can't you?
Yeah.
You can pick more tunes that will go in with it, and you can piss them out a bit more with it, rather than just finding one where I've got to chuck this and it's got 2-4 bars before it comes in. Just get it in like.
There's been a couple of tunes lately that I've got right. So for trance and that, I would agree with you. But there's a couple of tunes I've got lately. It goes 16 bars into the drop, not even like a bass changer up. Yeah. And I'm like, I've actually went away and had to edit them to put a bass bit in the middle or put something in the middle because
it's boring.
No, but sometimes you just makes a mix sound shit. There's loads of energy, and then you bring it down into nothing. It's like some work. So there's been literally I bought a handful of tunes the other day, and I think 3 of the tunes did the exact same thing, and I had to edit all 3 of them just to get something more in.
So cause it's boring as a DJ, innit, really? I mean, it's not hard to mix, but it's like you want a bit of.
You want it to be.
You want to bring some over the tune you're mixing out of, don't you? You know, a bit of.
But for trance and for hard house and stuff like that, I absolutely love a longer mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see like all these daft mixes and that. Like you see some people who when they've got like tunes and they'll put like a double drop in where it kicks in and stuff like that. They tend to be the shorter tracks, whereas for me, you could give me like a Pearl River. Do you know when you bring Pearl River in, it's just that piano sneaking in, and then
played that on that.
Well, what I've started last 2 times I've mixed that, I'm going to do it tomorrow as well. I usually bring it in and then you can hear it all building up. But what I've done last couple of times, just brought it in and dropped the other tune where it kicks in, and then you can just hear all them bars with every bit of music, every instrument and everything coming in, and I had Wizard doing my set then, so I thought it's fucking perfect for him MCing over, because it's just the right good build up to it.
Absolutely.
But it's a different level of tune like that.
Right, I'm going to sort of tie today up with the last question of the day. You said about to get the electric chair because you fucking played a set of madness, and you didn't like the tune that he was playing, you didn't like the tune he was playing, so you put each other on the chair and you've got one last meal. You're allowed a starter, main, dessert and a beverage. What you're having, you can go first. In fact, you can go first. You can have a think because yours needs to be good because you're in the food industry. So you can get away with a nice easy one.
Lobster.
For a starter?
No, well, yeah, starter on, man.
Right,
no.
go on. What you going
right,
for?
No, starter. I'll go for... Sounds a bit boring, this. No. Black pudding and... I don't know if we go poached egg. Black pudding. A black pudding dish.
Nice.
Or pate.
I'm not a black pudding person, but at
you
least you thought about this.
It's best black pudding in the world, isn't it? Lobster and fillet steak.
Nice.
And then a nice bit of cheesecake or something.
How'd you have your steak?
Medium rare.
Right, no worries. Want a drink to wash it down?
Moretti.
Right, good pint as well.
Yeah.
Go on.
Starter would have to be.
Highly anticipated this.
I'd have the hottest chicken wings you could find me with the hottest dip.
Right.
Nice little salad. Main course, I love steak, so it's got to be a fillet steak, medium rare.
Yeah.
With my own signature steak sauce.
Trying to drag out and get the electric chair by making his own dinner.
Homemade chips,
Yeah.
possibly salad, depending on the weather. If it's raining, veg.
You don't need to lose weight if you die.
No.
Yeah, and then
Put the salad in the bin.
for dessert, it's got to be a sticky toffee pudding and ice cream. That'd do me right. Wash down with just like my friend. It's like what we have in common.
Right,
Nice
go on.
Moretti on a Friday in White Horse.
Nice one. To be fair, both not bad meals. Well, there's been worse on here anyways. You know what I mean? I just want to say thank you for coming on today. It's been an absolute
Thank you.
belter, honestly.
Nice one.
Definitely a Hall of Fame episode, and I bet you everyone watching this agrees with you.
Nice one.
If you've enjoyed this episode, then please share it with your mates. As I say every week, sharing this gets it with new ears. You might not think it does, but one of your mates who doesn't know what this podcast is about might discover this and find that they're in love with it and they want to watch it every week and hear DJ's stories, etc. You can also sign up at Patreon now for early access and bonus episodes. That's patreon.com/itstimetoriffresh. Just want to say thanks for coming on again, lads.
Nice one. Cheers, mate.
Nice one, Brad.
Thank you.
See you later.